Explain the process used in a traditional method of preparing a bill of quantities. This is a very common question in exams, and in the traditional method of preparing bill of quantities, we start by taking off. Taking off, it involves entering the dimensions that are measured from the drawings in a specific paper called a dimension paper, and stating the description very clearly against them. The dimensions entered in a taking off dimension column. In the dimension column of a taking off sheet, they are called bookings. So the next step we do after taking off is squaring. Squaring is the process of multiplying the bookings in the dimension column to the units in the timesing column and entering the resultant in the squaring column. Remember, in a take-off sheet, we have 3 columns, then the description column. From the far end, we have the timesing column, then the dimension column, then the squaring column, then the description column. In the timesing column, we usually multiply. For example, if we have 2 windows, we write 2 stroke. In the dimension column, we state the dimensions of the item that we are measuring by length, the width, the height. In the squaring column, that's where we shall write the answer that we get by multiplication of the bookings in the dimension column by the item on the timesing column. The next step after squaring is abstracting. Abstracting involves entering the squared dimensions in an abstracting sheet. In the abstracting sheets, we usually have subheadings for every work. For example, walls, internal walls. So we shall go take the squared dimensions in the take-off sheets for the first floor, internal walls. We go to the second floor, internal walls. Third floor, internal walls. We come and summarize them in the abstracting sheet. When we are summarizing them, we usually summarize them according to the headings. For example, we group the internal walls. We write all of them first, ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor. We come to the external walls. We take the square dimensions from the take-off sheets for first floor, second floor, third floor. We come for the floor area. We go pick the square dimensions from the take-off sheets from the beginning to the last floor. So that summarizing of the square dimensions into section subheadings, it's called abstracting, which we do in preparation for billing. When we are abstracting, we are going to cross over the dimension, the items that we are picking from the take-off sheet using a vertical line to show that these dimensions, these squared dimensions have already been picked and placed in the abstracting sheets. So the abstracting sheets, when we are cross-checking, we shall be able to see that we have placed all the items in the take-off sheets into the abstracting sheets. The last step of the traditional method is billing. Billing is the process of transferring the reduced quantities and descriptions from the abstracting sheets to the billing paper ready for pricing. In the process of billing, we enter the quantity, the rates and the quantities together with the description, lifting them from the abstracting sheets. So we shall go to the abstracting sheets, lift the description, place it in the bill paper. We take the quantity from the abstracting sheet, we place it on the bill paper. We take the unit from the abstracting sheet, we place them in the billing paper, and finally we take the rate from the sources of information for rates, for costs. Then we place it in the rates. If you want to know about the the sources of information of costs, we shall look at them in another video. That is the process of of preparing a bill of quantity using the traditional method. So we started with taking off, then squaring, then abstracting, then finally billing.